Lena for game number one, map number one, and I already know Stark's probably upset with himself because he didn't pick the right color. He always picks yellow, and he's going as green right now, and that is
Oh,
completely outside of his normalcy. So we'll see if he's thrown off by that. But we are, well, okay. I always do that. I always think it's loaded, and it hasn't actually loaded. But we are in game number one here, and spawning in the bottom right from a team composite, our orange Zerg player. This is Nefarious.
and spawning to the left position here from Team Allin, it's going to be Stark.
And the reason that we are, well, this early in the day for Americans at least, I think it's only 2 p.m. right now for us, is Stark he's actually another European player. He's actually from the UK, so this is actually a pretty decent time for him. Nefarious, meanwhile, he's Canadian. I think he even is on like the west coast somewhere, so it's maybe noon for him right now, maybe even a little bit earlier. Not necessarily sure exactly where he lives, but both players coming into these games have been pretty staunch, pretty powerful. Nefarious, he's pretty new to the CTL itself, but he's definitely shown how good he is. He's doing really well in the CTL. He's obviously doing really well here in the Chobo Star League, making it to the round of 8 here, and his kind of first experience with anything CTL related. So it's cool to see that happening. But ZVZ is always volatile. I'm not sure what all you've been seeing recently. Hey, I'm not even sure if you do actually ladder actively. I know a lot of the Poison TV guys don't actually ladder besides maybe Wiggy.
Yeah, Wiggy was playing a lot, and he definitely knows a lot about ZVZ as well. But I do myself play Zerg from time to time, and really love to see this matchup. It's definitely something not a lot of people enjoy watching, but it does have its moments for sure.
Yeah, and actually the way that Stark got into the round of 8, his last game in the winners match of his round of 16 group was a ZVZ. It was all in Blinded Research Station, and he 6-pooled. He 6-pooled and he
Oh.
won. It was insane. He used all of his drones as well. It was quite the way to go out for the player he did beat, but the guy he beat actually ended up coming out second in that group. So he did make it through as well. But that was an interesting way to get into this stage of the tournament here. But both players so far opening up pretty much the same way, but we do have a much earlier hatchery down here for Stark. And the hatchery is just now coming down for, actually, well, he's going to hide the drone, maybe freak Stark out a little bit more, but Stark does see that drone dancing around behind them in our line, so he knows that this hatchery is going to be taken, but still, like, no hatchery at this point. Both players, they already have speed on the way. I'm kind of confused why Nefarious hasn't yet taken this, or why,
Yeah, I'm
why
also
it took so long.
kind of confused that he's still taking gas. So does he want to go for an early baning nest, just playing super safe? This might be the case, as we do see Stark actually just just droning and not taking the initial gas here. Just one drone here mining this, just for the baning nest later on.
And the Bane Nest has come down for Nefarious, so it's definitely going to be quite the aggressive opener here from the Orange Zerg player at least. But I mean, Stark with speed finishing up, and he's got a spine collar. I mean, he knows something is up to an extent, some because he saw how delayed this natural hatchery was. I mean, his nat is finished. He's got a lot of lings on the way, and with the spine collar as well. I don't think Stark's going to be caught off guard by this, but still, Nefarious, this is something that could do a ton of damage. He's already got lings moving on the map, and right now, nothing but lings in production. No drones for him. I imagine we won't see any drones for quite a long time, because this is going to be fairly all in out of him.
Yeah, Stark is prepared though. It's only because really the baning connections that need to hit here if Nefarious wants to do the damage necessary. But there's also the spine crawler, which will help a lot.
Lings are running in both places, but there's no banelings actually made yet. And actually, that's a lot of lings out of Stark, and I don't think Nefarious expected to see that many lings. I think right now the ling count is actually, it is in favor of Stark. He's going to get on top of these morphing banelings and cancel those before they're completed. So a nice start here for Stark. I mean, he's not the aggressor, but he's being aggressive right now.
Yeah, Stark just needs to be careful of this baneling, but he does retreat for the moment. And yeah, let's look at the count. Actually, Nefarious has a lot of lings here on the field, so he really wants to do the damage necessary, as Stark is already in the drone production.
I'm not sure if Stark thinks that this aggression is over or what, but he stopped making lings for quite a while. His own Baneling Nest is on the way, but that's still pretty far away. And Nefarious, he's just going to keep pushing across the map, and droning as much as Stark did, he may have given Nefarious a little bit of an opportunity to actually get some damage done. But still, without any Banelings actually over here for Nefarious, he's got nothing but lings on this side of the map. The Banelings he's making are back home defending. He's not going to be able to do too much. Stark isn't going to find himself in a really poor position with his lings, with his queen. He's got a nice pseudo wall off here with the queen, spy collar, and Bane Nest. So the lings from Nefarious shouldn't be able to get too much damage done, and Stark even creating a second spine collar. But I mean, back home we got a lair on the way. It's actually about 60% finished here for Nefarious, and he's been droning up. So kind of a weird, back and forth. Both players expecting aggression or not expecting as many lings out as Stark actually had, and kind of an interesting start to this game, I suppose, but we're getting into a pretty even standard macro setup for both players.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm really curious to see what Nefarious is going to do with this layer. He's not building up any production facility yet, but I suppose he would go for the Roach Warren, as he's taking 2 additional gas. Actually, a 4th gas as well, so we might even see Muta play here.
I'm not really certain. If you're going to go for mutas early, I mean, the good thing is Nefarious, he didn't make that many Banelings. He only tried to make 3, I think. Even so, he didn't really spend that much gas, so he still has a lot of gas. But Stark is actually starting to be the aggressor. He's got 6 Banelings morphed in on the Nefarious' side of the map, and those gonna be rolling in pretty soon with only 2 Banelings to defend and only a few lings, no wall off to speak of. And even Nefarious, he's not actually ready for this at all. Banelings morphed rolling in. 2 Banes kill, or 1 Bane kills off the 2 that Nefarious has over. There's still a good handful of Banes rolling into the drone line, killing 7 workers there. So nice pickups for for Stark already, and now he is on top of the queens even.
Very well done, and no defensive baning, only 1 baning here to maybe connect onto the Zerglings. Stark needs to be careful. Good connection here with the baning, but additional Zerglings are streaming in, and the queen might be picked off here.
Yeah, so this attempt to go into Aspire, maybe just it's gonna be done in such a long period of time. There's still so many lings streaming across the map, as you said, for Stark. He's not gonna let up on this aggression. Yeah, it's been cleaned up so far in the main base, but now he has a second wave that's rolling in, and without any Banelings already created here for Nefarious, he still has to defend with his own lings. Which means this drone line here is going to be completely under attack, and Stark is going to clean up a lot more drones here at the natural base, killing off an additional 7, so that's 14 drones that have died already for Nefarious, and when he's trying to get up as much gas as possible, he's got 4 mutas on the way, but 4 mutas are not going to completely save him, but good connections on those Banelings there, and another good connection with the last Baneling he has, but good work done so far by Stark.
Yeah, Stark just needs to work on his injects. He's doing a quite good job so far, but now the damage I feel is done, and with the spires, once seeing the spire, he should really put up some defenses and maybe go back into the macro game.
He did kill off a lot of workers. Right now he's got a 14 worker lead. He's trying to get his own 3rd hatchery up that Nefarious does see. So he can go start working on that either with the mutas or with some lings of his own. But Stark, he realizes he just has to defend a little bit. I'm kind of surprised he has absolutely no spore colors anywhere on the map right now. He's just going to rely on defending with queens. He does have 2 queens at each of his bases. Actually, as I say that, he's actually moving to other queens. And there we go. Some spore colors are coming down here for Stark. I feel like he's just going to let this play out a little bit longer. Just continue macroing up. Get as many drones up as he possibly can, but needs to start saving some of his overlords. And with these mutas working on this 3rd hatchery here for Nefarious, Stark's just going to walk across the map with all of his army and hope he can either draw the mutas back or just do enough damage to kill Nefarious outright.
I feel like the queens could be going for the 3rd base, but as we're seeing Stark already moving to the natural base, this is going to be a very important engagement, as he might even kill off this army and do even more damage to the economy line of Nefarious, and this might be game ending.
The Banelings aren't getting great connections, actually trading pretty inefficiently, and all the Banes are now rolling in for Stark, as well as a few Roaches, and those are probably going to go directly for the mineral line. It does clean up all of the morphing Banelings, and now there's nothing to really deal with the Roaches. Mutas have cleared out this 3rd base of Stark's, but now the main is under fire of Nefarious, and all these Roaches here just taking out everything they can. Probably needs to go and focus down those workers a little bit. He's got 1 Roach trying to go for those, but He needs to kill off as much as he possibly can, but still, he's denying so much mining time. And back home, I think 47 drones to 22 right now. We got 74 supply to 38. It's a pretty massive lead right now for Stark here in game number 1.
Yeah, he can just follow up with whatever he wants to, just get going mass circlings and really keeping the mutas as a defensive measure. So he does want to go for a counterattack, but I think Stark should be just able to reflect this with all the queens he has stacked up now.
It's a lot of queens, and a lot of them have a lot of energy as well. This third hatchery is going to get cancelled at least. So that's nice for Nefarious, but a third hatchery being cancelled isn't the biggest of deals here for Stark. And Stark's actually going to try and move out and defend it. You know, you see all of these queens, and it's so many queens. I mean, 6 queens moving out here. It's like he's playing against a Protoss or even a Terran player. You don't really often see that many queens in a ZVZ, but third hatchery does get cancelled once again, and Nefarious is going to get on out of here. But good lord, that's how many queens? 8 queens almost? Is that?
Yeah, that's very
7
true.
queens.
But he really wants to have at least 2 queens at the production, so he can at least build up some more Zerglings. He is also a little supply block from the mutas that are on the field, so nice play here from Nefarious to potentially come back into this game and build up the drone count necessary for his natural base.
Yeah, Stark, he's trying to defend here out front as much as he possibly can. I mean, there's really just not much for Nefarious. He's doing what he can to come back in the game. He's playing very well at that, but he's going to walk into some Spore Collars here in just a second. Even a third one is trying to come up here in the main. It gets canceled. It's still only 5 meters, and that's a huge ground army moving across the map. But again, most of that ground army is actually queens. Yeah, queens going on the trek of their life trying to get across the map right now.
If the queens reach the natural base from Nefarious, this will be very tough to deal with, and so we do see the GG here from Nefarious.
Yeah, I think he saw those roaches coming into his natural base. He's trying to make some spine crawlers, but those were not going to finish in any bit of a decent timing. So he just he tapped out here in game number 1. So game number 2 is going to be on Secret Spring, which we will get into relatively shortly. Stark just messaged me. He has the weirdest ZVZs. To qualify, initially to qualify for this tournament, he played a ZVZ in the first round of the European qualifier, and the first game was this like 60-minute long ZVZ with swarm hosts or something insane like that. And the second game was kind of standard, I think. And the third game, which I was able to actually cast, he and his opponent both went for 9 pools. And the game ended up lasting for 20-30 minutes almost. And then, of course, qualifying off a 6 pool, which is just absolutely nuts. So he's got some bills up his sleeve, I suppose. Yeah, Nefarious. Thank you for looking at the race. I've spawned into too many games where the players got the wrong race on and not noticing. So
yeah, that's fine.
Just waiting on our players to actually get ready here, and there we go. Nefarious is ready, so are getting into game number 2. It is on Secret Spring. I'm going to actually look at the actual maps for the rest of this series. Vonnie Research Station will be next, and if necessary, Overgrowth and Deadwing are maps 4 and 5. So pretty standard maps. Infernal Pools and Expedition Lost were vetoed by the players. Not a huge surprise on either of those. If Infernal Pools is such an awkward map to play ZVZ on, I feel like at least.
Yeah,
with
Secret Spring.
That natural. Secret Spring too, yeah.
I mean, Secret Spring has that interesting center. I really like to see how these 2 players are trying to use that to their favor. But yeah, let's introduce the players.
Spawning down here in the bottom left in blue this time from Team Composite. Oh, that's why his yellow was stolen. It is Nefarious.
And spawning to the top right side, we have the yellow Zerg player. He goes by the name of Stark.
I'm not sure what it is with Stark and yellow, but it is his favorite color. And actually, Nefarious was orange last game, so it doesn't even matter what I was trying to say. But one of Composite's colors is yellow, so I would have expected Nefarious to play in yellow. And then again, Allin's colors are red and not yellow. So well,
oh Ryan,
yep.
Nefarious. He's not building an Overlord.
Yeah, it's
but
definitely a
spawning
9
pool.
pool here. So well. Stark has plenty of experience, I would say, with 9 pools, but this is a weird map to 9 pool on. Is there any way to hide it? There's no way to hide it because this first Overlord is already in this center pathway. It's not like you can run around a different route. These are blocked off by rocks, so yeah, unless Stark goes hatch first, which is a possibility, but no, he's not going to do that. He is going for that pool here on 14 even, so he's playing pretty safe, and with a really easy to hold natural ramp. I'm curious to see what Nefarious is going to follow us up with. Is he going to continue with just Lings, just try to get some of those, try to get some kills with those, or he's going to pull into some gas?
Yeah, that's very true. So Stark is in fact going for that gas, and he really needs that to deal with the speedling later on. But now Nefarious is really all in with that build and building up to 8 Zerglings right now.
Lings, which I mean, Stark should probably already know this is coming. Seeing just now seeing the second Overlord, and of course now he does see all the Lings coming in. I'm curious if he's actually going to pull out a gas and try to defend without gas. Oh, okay. That's one thing. He is making at least one Spinecrawler here in the back of his base. He does have a Queen on the way and 2 Lings of his own. Actually, 4 Lings now of his own. But still, this is going to have to be a defense with some of his drones to start out with until this Queen is finished up, until he's able to actually do anything with that. But Nefarious should be able to get some damage up, but he has to be extremely careful not to be caught by these drones. Actually, sniping out both of those Lings to start off with is really nice for him.
Yeah, that is indeed. And he wants to go for a surround. He gets 1 Zergling at least. But losing that mining time as well is really hurting Stark at the moment. But at the same time, we do see the Queen and Stark really putting up a really good defense so far, with the Spinecrawler also in the background.
The scary thing right now for Nefarious, he did go for gas, but Stark already has speed on the way, and he's actually droning. That's how comfortable he feels right now. He doesn't think he needs to make any Lings to defend this continual attack, but he hasn't seen anything. I guess he's trying to get into the natural. He's about to see this natural base is coming down as well, so he'll know what he's facing up against exactly. And if he wants to himself, I suppose he could just try and flood Speedlings, because the Queen gets surrounded. So nice job by Nefarious getting in there and actually getting a kill on the Queen. It's pretty huge at this point, but second one on the way. I think any damage right now is
And Stark is continuing building up drones, interesting enough. But I mean, okay, that's just a fine number, but now he really wants to build up that Zergling number, especially with the Zergling speed now on the way.
Yeah, with the speed finishing, you kind of wish some of those drones that he just made were Lings, so he could actually really push this away, but actually the Queen, I'm not sure what is the Queen? What are you doing, Queen? No!
Oh,
he's gonna lose another Queen now, actually pulling drones trying to save it. Does get the inject off, but that's no good. His speed is finished, however, so he's has to do a lot of damage with these first initial speedlings. He's got 8 more on the way to join these, but it's going to be up to Nefarious to actually defend. His speed is not finished yet. He does have a few Lings of his own coming in. Now Stark's kind of forced this into this position where he has to get damage done. He's lost 2 Queens now. He's got no way to inject. With this last inject that's going to be popping, it's going to be his last amount of larva in mass coming out for quite a while. He's got some speedlings here in the natural, or in the main base, excuse me, of Nefarious, so he's trying to do some damage. Actually, Nefarious is now the person who feels comfortable to not have to build a Spinecrawler. That's still a lot of speedlings that are going for the natural base of the Nefarious now.
And Nefarious does have his natural base, and this might be, yeah, that advantage he has right now, but he just needs to keep it alive. And now the speedling upgrade is done, and therefore Stark needs to retreat here, but oh, he might just get surrounded here as well, losing quite a lot of Zerglings.
And again, it's kind of the back and forth nature of ZVZ. If you lose a lot of units, it means you have to go defend, and Starkey's only got 4 Lings that are on the map right now. He's got a few more popping, and his Baneliness is still pretty far away, and that is a lot of speedlings out here for Nefarious. Nefarious may just be able to come in and kill, well, just about everything. Luckily, Stark does still have the Spinecrawler, so that's going to be doing a lot of work here, but Stark is going to start losing some drones here pretty soon. Maybe even going to lose a 3rd Queen in this game, and Nefarious is going to go check for the natural base. He does see that, so he can actually send some Lings up there to help out. Spinecrawler right now is doing a lot of work. It's up to 8 kills, but there's no way for Stark to actually defend his natural right now. He's trying to make some Lings. He's trying to make 8 come out, but they're not going to come out in nearly enough time to help, I think, defend his natural, at least in the number of Lings that are coming across the map still at this point for Nefarious. So Nefarious smelling blood, and he's just going to pounce.
Yeah, he has his Baneliness on the way as well, so now he can finish it off. And with that natural build at his natural base, he definitely has a lot of momentum. But oh my god, a huge Baning connect here from Stark, and or another Baning might just connect right there.
Nefarious is barely getting away from that last Baneling, but Banelings of his own are coming in now. One gets a really nice connection on Stark. A bit of surprise. I'm not sure if you expected to see Banelings at this point. Actually losing a lot more lings once again to some Banelings, and again we're at this point where Nefarious is just going to able to flood links for a little bit of time, but well, he's just getting a little bit, I don't know, too aggressive maybe. He's morphing in 3 Banelings here at the top, inside the main base, actually, of Stark. And Stark is morphing up some Banes of his own in his mineral line, with the Queens here as well. But, again, there's a natural base for Nefarious. He's got that extra inject cycle going for him, so his production is so massively in favor right now. He's able to do pretty much whatever he wants. He just can't kill Stark at the moment. He's just going to contain him for a really long time.
I really like the choice by Nefarious. Just go for a couple more drones, just holding the position right there, and really putting Stark in an uncomfortable position. But oh, so many Banelings now. He needs to be careful and just retreat for the moment. He's in a good position, so there shouldn't be any risk taken.
Yeah, I think Stark's actually going to try and move across the map and maybe in this game somehow with some of the Banes that he has, but it's just not nearly enough, I don't think. He does not have the production to keep up with Nefarious. And Nefarious, he's got the defender's advantage to his liking. He's making more lings. He's probably going to morph some of those into Banelings while he's dancing around here in the middle of the map, keeping Stark from actually moving out the way he wants to. Stark's still sitting on one base. He is making some more drones again. He's got a Roach one on the way, actually. So he may just be trying to maybe even up the worker count, but it's so many bangs being morphed in on top of this ramp here for our blue Zerg player. And if Stark doesn't move in right now and kill off all of those that are morphing, he's probably not going to have a chance to actually kill many of them.
Oh, the Banings are just morphing, but he might kill a lot of them. Nice splitting here from Nefarious just to keep some alive, and oh my god, this connection was just huge.
Yeah, all the Banes are dead for Nefarious, but only 4 Banelings remain right now for Stark, so he's just going to get those traded off for one ling each for a while here. And these lings are just going to give chase across the map, take those out pretty easily. We've got 12 more lings in production here for Stark. He's trying to take his own natural once again, but he's got this Roach Warren finish. Maybe he can make 3 or 4 Roaches and just keep those on hold position at the top of the ramp and keep that held for as long as he wants. But there's a lot of lings we have across the map right now for Nefarious, and still some Banelings being morphed in as well somewhere on the map. There he is.
Yeah, Nefarious again going for the attack. A couple of Banelings are being morphed in, and he might just want to end it right here, right there. And I don't know if Stark can hold this. The natural base, again, under attack. If he loses this is going to be huge.
He lets it actually finish. He knows he has to defend it, but in defending it, all the Banelings are coming in and are going to have free reign over.
Oh, the transfuse!
Oh, why did he just
Wow.
he just ran all of his Banes into 2 Queens, and one of them actually survived for a long enough time to get some more damage done, so that's a nice trade for Stark. He's finally got something momentum-wise in his favor, and with all these Roaches actually out now, he's got 6. I mean, it's not a ton, but any early game Roaches are pretty nice to have, and well, he's making 4 more. I'm not sure if he wants to use those completely just to defend and try to continue droning up. He did keep this natural base alive, and that was exactly what he needed to do, but he is quite supply blocked, and he can't make more Queens at the moment. Nefarious going for a lair behind us and a macro hatchery as well. He's still happily injecting into his main base. I guess, where does his Queen and his main go? Because it's not there anymore. Maybe he lost it, I suppose.
Is this the comeback we're seeing here from Stark? This is actually huge.
Yeah.
Saving this natural base, and Nefarious cannot really do a lot here, as the ramp is really very easy to defend here from Stark. And oh, the Banelings might even connect here onto the army. Nefarious really wants to go back right now.
The Roach is coming in from the right side as well. I think Nefarious, he's kind of cut out here in the middle, being a little bit more aggressive than he needed to be. Almost lost all of his lings there once again, but he's now realizing he needs to kill off these last 2 Banelings. And he is doing just that, but still, with all these Roaches here for Stark, I think Stark may be able to get a little bit aggressive, but Nefarious is just going to try to run around, maybe even get in and snipe this hatchery because it is so low, and it's exactly what he's going to try and do. If he's going to be able to do this or not, I'm not sure. Actually, he's a little bit miscontrol there. Goes too far back, and I think it's going to give Stark enough time to come back and defend this easily.
Yeah, that would have been a great move, but unfortunately, Stark wasn't just in position just there. And oh my god, he's building up so many spine crawlers right now. He's feeling really unsafe, and well, he does go for a 2-base Spire. That kind of makes sense then, but still, I don't think Stark has as much. But oh, okay, hey, actually a lot of roaches now on the way, and oh, the rocks might be killed here in time.
He does kill off the rocks, which is nice, but roaches should be able to chew for that in a decent amount of time. But all of these spine colors have finished up here on top of this ramp for Nefarious, so he's going to be just fine against these roaches, and there's no back entrance into this natural. And once the Spire finishes, he'll be able to defend this quite easily. So Stark is going to have to be put into a defense position relatively soon. But I don't know. I don't think he minds too much playing against Spire. I mean, Spore Collars, pretty good units. With this creep spread that Stark already has, he can get over to his third base and put some spores down there. But he's going to walk up this ramp, steal these spine collars, and try to get the heck out, probably. Or he's just going to go for it. Maybe try to go around. There's not really many spots to go around. He's just
my god!
He's going to lose all
of
this.
Crawler. The value is huge from the spine crawlers, and the Bane is getting actually really good connections onto the roaches. What a great defense here by Nefarious now again. And what a crazy game overall here from these two players.
Yeah, last roach will fall for Stark there. He definitely did not expect to see the wall of spines there. And really good positioning by Nefarious to trap those roaches with his queens, with his lings as well. And now Stark, he's got no units on the map. He's got a couple of roaches out here, but that's really it. He's got a few more that are popping out. He's going to need, once again, he's going to need all of these queens and all these roaches to be able to defend. In this game, Nefarious has a lot more. Yes, he's got a lot more mutas popping in. He's got 10 right now. He's about to have 13. So that's quite a few more than he had in the last game. He's actually following an Overlord right now. Just kind of waiting for that to die off by the queen popping in here. And this is going to be a problem here for Stark. And he's not going to be supply blocked for a while, but losing anything at this point in the game is something he has to replace that he can't be using on minerals, on units. He doesn't want to do that. And actually, this natural base, there aren't any spore colors right now, and it's still so low, and it's the lair as well.
Oh my god, if he loses the lair, this is going to be huge. And he's focusing down the spore crawlers, but really wants to focus it one by one. One spore crawler will finish here. Really wants to focus it down, or at least get around it. Oh my god, Stark actually able to defend this again. This is actually really, really good. And I mean, Nefarious doesn't want to commit to 2 mutas, I feel. He really wants to macro up and keep the map control. At least he's going for the third base, which I like really a lot.
The problem right now for Stark is he's got no defense out front that can shoot up. He's got a couple of queens that are going to roll in here, but the queens are at pretty low energy, and he's going to be drawn back and forth between his bases with these queens for a while. This spine color could be focused down. There it goes. Spine color will be focused down, and actually, is that a Nidus? That is a Nidus in the natural base of Nefarious. Is he going to react to this is the question. I'm not really sure if he's even seen it yet. Surely he's got to know something is on the way, but
wow.
Hopefully Stark doesn't send everything, but still, it's going to be quite a surprise here for Nefarious. Now he sees it. Now all the roaches and lings are popping in. But he's going to lose most of his drones. Now he's bringing everything back. All of his meters are coming back, trying to help out. He's actually going to focus down the Spire. Maybe he will get out of here after killing the Spire. I'm not sure. He's killed 15 workers, so that is huge in this stage of the game. Hopefully he's going to get in here.
Oh
actually,
my
he's trying
god.
to make so many spores. This is ridiculous.
What a great play by Stark. Really love it. Going for so many spore crawlers.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nefarious, he's going to try to focus down the spores and the queens when he can. Stark not paying too much attention. He's actually going to lose most of this, trying to get these spines and spores to actually come up and help defend this, but he's going to... it's going to be a little bit too late. One spore has finished. 2 spores have finished, actually. But they're not protecting the Nidus Worm right now. Well, this... What is going on in these games? What is Stark doing? He made the joke himself about his ZVZs are insane, and this is no different.
This is no different indeed, and I mean, Nefarious has his third base set up at least, and even going for a 4th base. So this was a nice move by Stark, but now he needs to do some more damage from this, and well, at least he's denying the natural base, which is good for now.
Yeah, he also has this threat where he can continue moving in. All the spine colors did get moved over here for Nefarious, so he's gonna be fine. Actually, start losing a couple, one roach there to a spine color. Nefarious does have vision thanks to that overlord of just this little corner spot now. He's just gonna flood across the map with all of his units, realizing there can't be that much on back home right now here for Stark, and there really isn't. There's a spine collar. He's actually gonna kill the Nidus network, just making sure that doesn't happen once again, but. All the lings over here can probably walk in and kill the roaches that are left right now. I mean, there's no upgrades on the roaches at all. Stark trying to make an infestation pit, I imagine, for Swarm Host, but that's never going to get up. And the lings in the natural base now, trying to kill what they can. And with only the single spore collar here, the meters are going to walk in and kill off a lot of these roaches as well. So trading very effectively here is Nefarious.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He doesn't have the spore crawlers in position to defend this flock of Mutalisks, and therefore Nefarious might just take this very game in a very, very interesting fashion. But actually, he loses quite a lot of the Mutas, so maybe? Is that another comeback here from Stark?
Well, he doesn't have any roaches right now. He's actually trying to make 3 infestors that are going to pop out with energy to put out some, I don't know, some infested Terrans. That's going to be about it. Pathogen glands isn't going to be even close to completed by the time those pop. There's only a single roach left over right now here in the main base, and there we go. GG from Stark. So that was a game. That was pretty nuts. So 2 ZVZs and 2 rather ridiculous CVZs at that so far to start us off here.
Yeah, and the chat going crazy as well, as we had a fantastic game right there, and well, tied up series. What else can you ask for?
Yes, I guess Stark. He was not expecting that 9-pool. If any map you wouldn't 9-pool on, I'm pretty sure that's one of the maps you wouldn't mind 9-pool on. So because it is so easy to scout that coming. It is still a short distance, as Nefarious is saying in our party chat here, but I don't know. The 9-pool itself didn't work out. I think Stark's mistakes with his queens is actually what kind of turned that game into Nefarious' favor. The 9-pool didn't do much damage. And if Stark keeps those queens alive, I think he just keeps injecting and floods lings and ends up winning that match. But as it stands, Nefarious, he got in and picked off those queens, did just fine, and gave himself the win here in Game 2, and does even up the series. So third map is going to be Vani Research Station, another interesting map, and this is the map that Stark 6-pooled on. So
we got Terran again. Zerk. All right. Yeah, we got Research Station. That's actually a really cool map to see. And we saw this. We saw some crazy matches as well in the pro scene at the Extreme Masters, for example. So let's see how these guys will, use their advantage on the map.
this will be interesting. Once again, Stark picking a different color. I think he's doing it just to bug me now. At this point, I think he's doing it just to bug me. So we'll have to see if he is actually trying to annoy me or not. But yeah, Ivani Research Station. The reason that 6-pool worked on this map, and kind of the issue of the 9-pool not necessarily working on the last map, is there's so many different paths you can take with your initial units to stay out of Overlord vision range. And Stark, when he did the 6-pool, he saw where the first Overlord was coming from. He knew where that was coming from, so he sent his lings in an awkward path, and so Roxas never saw those lings coming at all, and so they just showed up. It was a complete surprise. So to see if he does that again, but we already see a drone production, so I guess not. Anyway, introducing our players, spawning in the bottom in orange from Team Composite. He is Nefarious.
And spawning to the top position, we got Stark.
Stark just alluding to that 6-pool, maybe trying to mind game his opponent a little bit. But it's not going to be a 6-pool. Is it going to be? No, it's not going to be a 9-pool from either player either. So neither of them are going to be doing anything early, at least in this game. Could still see a 10, like an earlier pool, like a 12 or something crazy like that. But with the pocket naturals, it is an easy easy map to expand on.
And we love to play these kind of tournament matches, as you normally see don't normally see a standard game, and everyone wants to try something fancy, wants to go, yeah, for some really unique strategy. So, yeah, so far I'm really entertained by these two players.
I know Stark. He's a fan of figuring out build orders, to say the least. And he perfects them as much as he possibly can. And Stark is actually he's an author for Imba builds. I think most of the Zerg builds on that website he wrote. So he's very clear on how builds are supposed to go and what to like when he scouts. He usually knows exactly what his opponent is doing, and he's able to call things that are coming really early in the game. He's done a lot of casting for the CSL actually, and I know there was I think one game in the last group we did together that he called exactly what his one of the players was going to do at like 3 minutes into the game, just based off certain gas taking time that he did. So he's a very smart player. He's a very mental kind of player. So a game like that, being able to ad lib that Nidus Network play that he did, it's a pretty smart move. So I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do. But Nefarious, he's not necessarily playing standard, but he's playing enough to get the win. So I mean, a great wall of spines, man, works.
Yeah, the Great Wall of Spines was amazing. And they didn't even got scratched by a little, so yeah, let's see if Nefarious has something on his sleeve again. As both players actually going for a pretty standard opening. Stark even without any gas so far.
Not a surprising map to go Gasus on, so because it is so easy to hold this natural ramp with just a couple of queens. So maybe Stark just wants to get up a few more queens than maybe you would get if you do actually go for gas first. And Nefarious is not going to be able to see that there's no gas right now, not for a little while at least. He's got one Overlord flying in, but the queen is already there to push it away. Meanwhile, Stark, I mean, he was able to get in with his own, see that the gas has been taken by Nefarious. He knows that speed can probably be on the way. And actually, he's even getting in with a couple of lings, and with the queen distracted by the Overlord, he's going to get one drone kill. He's going to walk
great.
out of there, maybe? Oh,
Yeah, get it. Oh wow, a second worker kill. This is actually huge. Just with two Zerglings, this is the most value you can ask for, and even scouting the natural base finishing. So, great place by Stark so far.
Just dancing that ling around a little bit. It's kind of waiting for it to die, I suppose. It could possibly get out of there, but with a couple of queens actually out for Nefarious, he should be able to get away from this. Stark just wanted to see what was coming out of those larvae here at the natural, which is 4 lings, and it does finally get killed. So, once again, Stark, his scouting is just on point. He's already got 2 queens up. He's about to have 4 even. So, walling off of this natural is going to be pretty easy for him. Speed is finishing up here for Nefarious, and I'm kind of intrigued if he's going to go. What he's going to use? He's got 150 gas. What is he going to use that on right now?
Interesting. Yeah, he might just go for a Bane Nest. Oh, he does go for the layer.
Wow.
Interesting enough.
That's a fast layer. I mean, 6 minutes into the game, we have a layer. We're still only on a single gas. So, I don't know. I have no idea what he's planning to do right now. He hasn't
Maybe
taken any
Nidus?
extra gas right now. Maybe, I suppose. There you go. Roach Warren coming down, so I guess Roach Speed or an upgrade. There we go.
Yeah, that's actually good timing. Starting Roach Warren right now, and even the Evo Chamber. Finally, we got some upgrades as well. I would love to see them.
Right? Upgrades are great. I just haven't seen any yet, I don't think. So, and these queens out here at this natural ramp is going to wall us off for just forever. And is Stark making more queens? No, not yet. His lair is actually on the way as well. So he's pretty safe against whatever's coming his way. And he has his own Roach Warren coming as well. He does have 6 queens out, actually. So once again, Stark going so heavy into queens. That's not a bad idea. They defend against pretty much everything. The earlier you get queens, the better they are, because they're going to have more energy to transfuse with. We do see +1 missile attacks coming here from Nefarious. So, I don't know. That's interesting, I suppose. It's something.
Yeah, I feel like both players actually going for the same kind of build, but Nefarious with that upgrade advantage. And yeah, Stark, I feel like a little bit better timing so far, but not going for the upgrade. It feels like he wants to go for timing with the speed upgrade.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, a +1 plus speed as well. Roach timing. It can work on some maps, but I don't think it can work on this map necessarily. Just because you can't get any sort of surface area on your opponent, and you start to just sit on top of his ramp and shoot down from above. With the queens here, they're going to help out transfusing as well. I'm not necessarily certain what this timing is going to get done in Stark. I mean, he's making nothing but rotas right now. He
Oh,
doesn't have
Ryan, look at
vision.
this.
Third. What?
Yes, a knight is on the way.
Oh gosh.
And there's also an overlord in position, but I'm not sure if this is the best spot. And Nefarious even having that creep spread just on in the main base, so he should be able to see it. There's actually a little gap. He might even plan that knight is wrong, but oh, Nefarious, he doesn't see it. He should be seeing it.
Yeah, it's in his vision range, so he should know it's there, but he's just not reacting to it. I think he's so worried about his own timing. He's even moving
Oh
out
no!
right now. He's got. Oh, this is gonna be
Go
another
back! Go
surprise.
back!
Yet another Nidus for him, and this one's gonna get a lot more damage done. It's gonna be a lot more useful here. Stark, I mean, enough roaches right now, 16 to 23 in his favor. The upgrade advantage is going for Nefarious. He's just going for this natural. He's gonna get out of here or what? It's so many queens. Actually, Roach is going for the Nidus itself. One transfuse goes down on that Nidus.
Wow.
He's gonna get in there with everything and escape. Picking up the natural. He didn't get any. He got 2 workers. No, those were from earlier, so he didn't get any extra workers. But picking up the natural is so huge right now.
Yeah, that was a nice pickup by Stark. Really cool move, and at the same time, he does Nefarious does go for his third base. So as long as he's denying the third base from Stark, he might just be able to stabilize so far. But that was definitely a good snipe here for Stark so far.
Yeah, another Nidus actually going down here for Stark. I'm not sure if that one's going to get as much damage done. He doesn't have anything in the Nidus number just yet. He does see all the roaches moving out for Nefarious coming into his own natural base, so he's got to defend against this. And with the queens here, he could be okay, but transfuses have to be absolutely on point. There's so many units here right now for Nefarious.
He has a lot of units indeed, but the Queen's also supporting quite well so far, getting the transfuses done, and also the production just next to it will reflect this damage being done. And now Stark can even go for the Nidus aggression. Nefarious didn't kill it.
Oh, there's nothing over here but a couple queens right now for Nefarious. He's trying to go after the Nidus itself, but everything is here for Stark. He's going to pick up another hatchery. Like you said, luckily for Nefarious, he had that third hatchery finished, but he's just going to tap out there. So GG Stark, making the Nidus work here in this game. I love it. I love it. I love non-standard play. It's so great because it shows you've been practicing something. So that's awesome to see that, and also ridiculous.
Really fun to watch, and really fun to see these guys clashing against each other with these crazy ideas. So, yeah, it's a 2-1 here for Stark so far. Nice performance.
So we could be going into our last match of this series with Stark up 2-1. It's going to be on Overgrowth, so we'll have to see what he decides to do in this game, because so far I guess game 1 was relatively standard. He just kind of reacted to what he saw and defended off of that. But 2 games in a row, we've seen the Nidus Network out of Stark. Game 1, or the first game he did that, and it did some damage, just not quite enough. This game, it did absolutely everything. That was nuts. Yeah, I think he is doing it just to piss me off.
He knows exactly that you have to change the scoreboard.
I don't have to do much to the scoreboard. It's not like the
Alright.
what was the ISO trophy that we were doing?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had to change that nameplate every single game
That
in the
was so
PSD
annoying.
file. Yeah, that was so annoying. Stark, Nefarious. Okay, there we saw already. But yeah, it's not quite that. So at least the overlay itself will choose the colors. But he knows that I like players to play in the same color every time. So he's doing it just to irk me, which is no surprise. That British humor, something like that. So game number 4, loading in on Overgrowth. You gonna see an early pull from Stark? What do you think?
Yeah, that might be a possibility, but Overgrowth is quite a huge map, so I'd actually love to see some shenanigans going on with the gold base, but of course that is kind of risky, especially in this VZ, so I'd definitely love to see something like a 14 pool with gas, a little stable, but still potential with going aggressive.
Yeah. All kinds of things you can do on this map, and the goal base is definitely not out of the question, especially with whatever Stark has been practicing. But introducing our players, spawning here in the bottom left, down to his last life. From Team Composite, it is Nefarious.
And spawning to the top right side from all inspiration is going to be Stark.
So no early pulls in this game, so nothing fun like that. But 14 pull, 14 gas, or 14 gas, 14 pull even can. It's an interesting opener. I mean, actually, we're going to see a 13 gas out of Stark. So is this going to be the 13-12 all in? I'm guessing it is. So we're going to see really early banelings. Yeah.
Wow, okay, I haven't seen this quite often, so...
It's kind of old, honestly, and I mean, Nefarious, he's drone scouting. He's gonna see this, and you're doing it on a two-player map as well. So Nefarious
love
is gonna
it.
know exactly what's coming out.
Love the scouting.
Okay, you weren't supposed to scout. What are you doing? Which is really good for Nefarious. I mean, I'm interested where he said his first Overlord because he's always been sending his first Overlord to the natural. And if he kept that up, and I think maybe Stark realized that was happening, if he kept that up, this build would have done a lot more damage to him, I believe. But still, Stark can be really difficult to hold for a Zerg player. But Nefarious, you see it, you can defend it however you want to. You probably have seen this build so many times as a Zerg player. You can deal with it in certain fashions that actually work for you. So Nefarious should know exactly what he wants to do. And we do see speed on the way, and actually Stark's going to go ahead and pull out of gas completely. He's not going to go for the bandit nest. He's just going to try and just kind of macro his way out of this. Maybe mind game his opponent a little bit. It's kind of like the old Protoss style of, I made a Stargate, you saw it, so I'm going to cancel it and go into a DT shrine. Same idea here in ZVZ.
Exactly, and I think this build is actually quite good to deny the natural base as long as possible. So now Nefarious might be overreacting by going into Bane Nest, but I feel like this is necessary, especially with the gas now being mined, and he will definitely reflect this, but we have to keep in mind he will delay his own speedling.
Yeah, without speed on the way, and Stark and his speed is halfway finished right now, getting up this natural base for Nefarious is going to be so difficult. If, as soon as these larvae pop from Stark, if he makes that into a round of lings, Nefarious is going to rely on his banding control and a low amount of gas and slow speed or slow lings to try and deal with a lot of speedlings here from Stark. And it's a good decision from Stark, pulling out of gas and just going for speed, just getting extra minerals right now, because that means he's completely mind game his opponent. Nefarious knew what should have been coming his way, but it isn't now. So now he has to find a different way to win this game. Oh, a Roach Warren. Okay.
Oh, is Nefarious... What is Nefarious going to go for? He's just drone scouting it seems.
Huh?
Alright.
No, he's going for the gold base. I'm not sure if he's gonna actually take that, but Stark he's already got lings on the way to go take it because he realizes his opponent doesn't have it, have a natural base, so he's just gonna kill that drone easily. And it's a lot of lings out here for Stark, and we do have a couple banelings up on the top of the ramp and a couple queens as well, so they could wall off and keep Stark down below at least. But still, now how does Nefarious take a natural?
Oh, the Zerglings almost got killed here by the Banglings, but nice reaction time here from Stark. You should just be able to at least reflect the natural base, but he didn't take his own natural base, which is kind of confusing to me, as Stark really has that map control, especially with the Zerglings on the field.
Even 6 roaches on the way, as well as his own natural hatchery. So if Stark may just try to push away this single overlord, because there's not many overlords actually on the map that are actually giving vision right now to Nefarious. If this overlord gets pushed back, and maybe Stark rolls around the right side of the map out of the vision of this last overlord that's kind of outside of the natural base of Nefarious, he could completely surprise him with those roaches. But it's a lot of lings moving out here for Nefarious. Maybe he doesn't. Surely he doesn't expect there to be roaches on the map. He may actually be expecting Stark not to have any banelings either, or anything to actually defend all of this flood of lings and banes coming out here for Nefarious, but he's going to just try and get on top of this natural base and cancel that. At the same time, Stark is just running around with his own lings. Maybe go get a cancel on the natural here of Nefarious, but it's a lot of lings and some banelings over here as well to help defend this. So a good pick up there for Nefarious. He's probably going to get a good chunk of lings with that banelings, and he will defend this pretty easily.
Yeah, I like the play from Nefarious. He not only did do enough damage canceling that natural base, but also reflecting the counter aggression from Stark. So now he's in a really comfortable position. He should just macro up right now, be a little bit annoyed with his Zerglings, but still, just don't overcommit into the aggression.
It's a lot of lings right now. There's actually a roach one on the way here for Nefarious as well to help us out. It's a lot of lings. Are get a nice surround on those roaches. Is he going to get a lot of kills? Actually, the Banning's rolling in as
the Banning
well.
should connect.
Banning's connecting pretty well. A couple of queens actually doing a lot of transfuse work up there. That's nice. He still has one transfuse left over he could use on this really low roach that's on 15 health. A lot more roaches have just popped out as well. Nefarious may have overstepped his bounds here. He's lost his entire army there, and he's got really nothing left over. He's got 5 lings, and Stark with these 10 roaches could walk across the map, especially if he realizes that Nefarious is going to his own roaches. But he looks maybe a little bit worried. Wants to make sure he can take his own natural base here and get that drone up a little bit. But still, I think Stark has the drone lead at this point.
He does indeed, but Nefarious just should really build up some more units. He does go for the lair and should be going for his own roaches as he has the roach one already done, but not building up any upgrades either.
It's maybe another game where Nefarious has to defend with spine crawlers. It's a pretty heavy roach advantage right now for Stark, but he looks pretty content to stay home at the moment. Just try and get his own drone count rolling as well as he can. He's a little bit supply blocked right now. He's making 4 overlords as well as his own lair, and with a lair, I'm pretty sure he can make a Nidus network at lair. So is it going to be 3 games in a row that we see Stark going for a Nidus? I mean, there's a lot of dead space here in Nefarious' main base that he hasn't actually put any creep up here. So if that happens again, it could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Stark actually has really good vision with all his overlords spread out, so really love it. But now we do see the attack here from the roaches. No transfuse. Oh, the transfuses do go down, but where are the Zerglings here from? And where are the roaches from Nefarious? He will get a lot of trouble if he's not defending this properly.
He's got a few bands going to be rolling in, but so many roaches right now, and Stark isn't going to let those bands just crash into he kind of does let those bands crash into everything, but Nefarious is looking in a really kind of a tight spot right now. He's got 20 lings on the way. He just doesn't have the gas or the economy to make a lot of roaches. The lings should be able to fend this off with the queens helping out. Stark trying to focus down the high energy queen. He does just that. And Nefarious says whoops. I think he realizes he made a bit of a mistake. He over-droned a little bit, but he is going to clean this up at least. And now Stark, well, he needs to defend. He's trying to get his own 3rd hatchery up right now. Nefarious is going to send across the map all of those lings, but now it's Stark's turn to make the wall spine crawlers, so I don't know. I mean, the lings could do some damage. They have to get a lot of kills, though.
Yeah, at least they will deny the 3rd base, which I do like here from Nefarious. And, well, it's a back and forth game so far, and Nefarious, I mean, even though he did lose the queens and so on, but he's still in a fairly good position. He just needs to keep up with the upgrades, as we do see both the players go for this Zerg missile attack.
Yeah, Stark about to finish up +1 for his roaches, about to finish up the speed as well. Both are pretty far away right now for Nefarious, and Nefarious, he's trying to take his own 3rd hatchery. This has been seen by Stark. He's going to send, it looks like, some of his roaches over there. Some lings are actually trying to deal with the entire army of Nefarious, but it isn't going to work out too well for them. But it's looking like Stark is going to try and get what damage done he can, and actually moving spine colors across the map right now. He is walking 4 spines across the map.
Oh my god. Well, let's see how this is going to work out here for him.
That might be a really bad idea, because all of the army for Nefarious has moved across the map. There isn't much left over for Nefarious right now. He's getting his natural focus down by the roaches. They could probably kill that off at the same time. I think Stark's going to lose most of these roaches, perhaps. The drones were pulled, however. And when drones are pulled in a ZVZ, that's usually a really, really bad sign for that player. There aren't many roaches left over right now for Nefarious, and the +1 is definitely shining through right now for Stark. One last transfuse goes down. Another queen going to get killed off here. Nefarious is losing more and more Now, he does have a rather large army. Where did those spine crawlers end up going? Oh, they went back home. And actually, they're walling off the natural right now. That's another wall of spines. This is ridiculous.
Kind of tough to say now. Nefarious wants to go for the aggression, and I feel like this is the only option as he's so far behind. And on a 2-base economy, it's just enough here for Stark to build up a lot of roaches, so he wants to go for it right now.
Trying to swing in there, but seeing the spines and seeing no third base, he realized that. I think Stark has realized his opponent doesn't have a natural base. He doesn't. He's only on one hatchery. He can do pretty much whatever he wants. He's actually going to let all of those units walk into his main base. It's going to be really annoying here for Stark, but it also means all of the units will probably die. They will get a lot of damage done, however, so that's really nice for Nefarious.
Yeah, it seems like Stark is closing the gap. He's killing off every single roach, and with that 2-base economy, he is just insanely ahead in the macro game. So, really tough spot here for Nefarious.
Stark even defends with a few roaches and then sends the rest of them across the map. He does have to cancel his macro hatchery. He did lose quite a few drones, so he's not able to afford quite that much, but all of the roaches are across the map right now for Stark. He's got 76 army supply, that's 28 here in his favor. He was focused on the hatch for a moment, but with the rest of his roaches popping in here, he's just going to be able to focus down whatever he wants to focus down and then kill everything else off. So kind of maybe a matter of time here for Nefarious. He does have this hatchery finished up. That's it's trying to produce, but without any queens actually injecting here. Eventually, Stark is just going to be able to run his opponent over, and he's doing just that, walking into the main base now. And there it is, GG from Nefarious. So Stark will take the series 3-1, and will move on into the semifinals here of the Chobo Star League. So congratulations to him.